SuperTalkMinnesota.com.
And now, it's Coast View with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota, Gulf Coast Business Supply, South Mississippi Boat Show on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast View, the show that celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such an amazing place to live, work, and play. Hey, I really enjoyed my show yesterday. I had Michael Sunderman on from South Mississippi Living, and then Jamie Bates. He owns a barbecue company, Daddy's Barbecue, and he's involved in the community in so many different ways. A lot of people know him because he's a professional photographer, a former photographer at the Sun Herald, which is how I got to know Jamie really well. But inspiring conversations with both of those guys. You can always go back and listen to those by going to your favorite podcast. You can go to supertalk.fm and then go to where it says shows and click on Coast View, and you can see the podcast there. You can see the most recent show, a video of it on SuperTalk Mississippi TV. You can go to the SuperTalk Gulf Coast Facebook page, the SuperTalk Mississippi Facebook page, or you can go to the SuperTalk Mississippi YouTube channel, have access to all the shows. And we have so many amazing people. I also had a great message yesterday that talked about don't dwell on tomorrow, on yesterday. Really appreciate what you have in life and set, new goals for tomorrow. And if you didn't hear that message, I really encourage you to listen to it. It's just one of the big gifts that we get from the guests that have appeared on Coast View. Now I'm going to switch gears and move to my friend, Alan Pitalo, somebody I've known for an awful long time. Most people know that I married a Bohanovich. And so as a Gulfport guy marrying a Biloxi girl, I couldn't have picked a better family to marry into. And we go to St. Michael's Catholic Church. And as a result of that, I've gotten to know the Pitalo family really well. And I've gotten to know Alan and his brother Danny. Knew Danny because of fishing over so many years. But anyway, Alan, it's great to see you, buddy. How are you doing?
Oh, doing great. Sure appreciate you having me on, and most definitely love the Bohanovich family also. It's pretty much the point. We all grew up together. So
lot of great families. I had a wonderful author on last week. Her name is Candace Wheeler, and she wrote a book that takes place in Biloxi in 1906. Now the story is a fiction story, but a lot of the characters in the story were families that actually were here in 1906. So the families are actually real. And when you start having a conversation with people like Candace and others who really appreciate that history, that movement from Croatia to coastal Mississippi of all these, Slavonians and Croatians, it's just very significant, isn't it?
Oh, yes. The Slavonian descent, we have a huge family on the coast with all of us. Dad, my grandfather was one of the ones that came over. So it's exciting to learn the whole story. And we've been back to Croatia, took Dad over, and actually went to my grandfather's home where he grew up. Well, he was only there for 4 or 5 years, but before he moved to Biloxi, and he actually came straight to Biloxi, and it was home from day one. So it's been an honor to be a part of the family, of course, and then to be able to do this on the point, it really touches my heart. It's something.
Yeah, we're going to come to what Danny's involved. Danny is involved. His brother is involved in the cobia tournament that's been on the point of Biloxi for so long. And then Alan started a new company called Saltwater Marine LLC, and they're doing the boat show. And we're going to come to the boat show here in just one second. But boy, when you go to Croatia, as Ann and I had the opportunity to do, to see what they came from,
right,
and appreciate what they were dealing with back in those days, and the boldness that it took to come to Biloxi, it's really amazing to think about that, isn't it?
That was what was a big surprise to me. It took us so long nowadays. We went a couple times in the last 10 years, but it's so hard to get there now. And we flew across. We were there in less than a day, and they got on a boat and came. The hard way. They had a hard life to begin with, working on boats and in the farms, raising grapes and olives. And then to get on a boat and go for days and days, not knowing where they were going or how they were, going to end up. And it touches, it really is heartening to know they did that for us, to give us this life that we live now, and a much easier way of living over here than it is there.
Well, it seems so fitting that your boat show is going to play out today, tomorrow, and Sunday within the location of the point of Biloxi, because that means so much to you and your family. And here's the cobia tournament going on over behind the casino over there, just adjacent to the point, and the ability to walk over there. So essentially, what we're seeing Pitalo on the point for the weekend, aren't we?
There you go. That's kind of our motto. Danny, has had Gornflow's Cobia tournament for 35 years now. So I'm kind of hanging on his shirt tail with this one. We ended up, it was by fate, I guess. We were trying to have this in April, and everything didn't work out with the time schedule, so we ended up moving it back a couple weeks. And I talked to Danny long and hard about it, and he said, Alan, if nothing else, we're going to bring everybody to the point for one weekend, and we'll have a blowout. And there's parking at the old Gornflow's bar, which everyone knows. That was a hot spot back in the day before Katrina took it. And there's parking there. You can walk halfway over to me and then cross back over to Gornflow's on the very nice sidewalk that City built. And we'll have a lot of fun going on. We have bands on my side, and then Danny, of course, has had the big fish coming in. We hope.
He'll have the big fish coming in.
Yes.
The reports have been really good. And as you know, for anyone who's staying in touch with what's going on over in Destin and Pensacola, there's been some tough weather for them.
Yes,
so the thought is most of the captains, most of us who fish off the coast are going to appreciate, I think, probably some bigger fish because they haven't been able to fish and catch the big fish like they normally do. Is that what you're hearing too?
Yeah, we actually had a great report first of the week. Mark Smith came in with a 69-pounder, so. And they had 11 fish total and told me they seen fish everywhere. So they're great people, and I'm proud of them for doing that. But it's a good sign. I had another big one caught here this week, one of the charter boats, I believe, but I didn't get to see it. But yeah, Danny's got great reports. We're talking to Destin, Pensacola. They're not catching a whole lot. So that's a good thing for us. If they slip through, we get them. So,
it really is. So what's cool about your boat show, Alan, is the fact that it's an outdoor boat show. People are used to going in the Coliseum and whatever.
Right.
I've been down to Miami to the boat show many years. The potential of an outdoor boat show that could eventually involve really the big boats and all that comes with that, multiple locations. The vision for this has to be that this thing could grow into something very, very significant.
Well, it's been a dream of mine for many, many years. I moved to Florida in early 2000 and then moved home. And when I moved home, I was planning on having a boat show. I'd worked the Fort Lauderdale show, the Miami show, the Palm Beach show. I was in marine industry down there, traveled to all those shows, and it was heartbreaking that we didn't have an outside show here. So when I came home, I've been trying for years to do it, and I've been in construction traveling, and I finally was home this year with our friend, Mr. COVID. So I got to have a lot of time and get it set up. And it's going to be big. The interest is unbelievable. This year, it's hard to get everybody in line. So we're not as big as we wanted to be, but we had some drawbacks from the storms in the fall, and we're hoping that we get it all worked out. We're going to be at the Plaza this year, and hopefully grow all the way towards the marina next year. And I do have the big boats in line to come. I'm actually Gulf Coast Yachts will be here this year. They're going to have a booth with pictures. They said they would love to have some boats in the marina next year. So we're just going to look for the future. And, like you were talking about the lady earlier, talking about the future, it's what we live for.
But I would say this year is going to be very successful. And the reason why is because you've had incredible commitment from all the local boat dealers. And that's they can go to one place and have a conversation with all the local boat dealers in one place. And the future could be that you would have boat dealers coming in from other parts, and that you would have the big boats and all that. But the fact is, for a first shot, to have all the local boat dealers involved, and then the entertainment and the activities and the other vendors that are going to be involved, I think, and the weather's going to be probably terrific. So you're going to have, it's going to be a really successful first go at this.
Well, we have the local boat dealers, the 4 or 5 local boat dealers have backed me 100%. Their dream was to have it outside too. It's a risk we all take. My brother knows it the best because Gornflow's has always struggled with weather, but we picked this weekend, and it's looking good for us. So we all say a prayer, but it's the boat dealers have been a big part of getting this together and making it a success. We've had a few meetings and they brought them all, and they're all involved in the every day to day on this. So we're proud of it.
Give us the hours of operation real quick in the short time we have.
Today will be open at noon to 6. Saturday will be 10 to 6, and Sunday will be 11 to 5.
Awesome, man. And
real quick, Ricky, we will have bands on Saturday and Sunday after lunch.
What a cool tradition this is going to be in conjunction with the Garn Flows fishing tournament. And boating's such a big deal. And during the pandemic, people just enjoyed being in their boats. That's the reality. So, Alan Pitalo, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Good luck to you as you approach the boat show, but I anticipate it's going to be unbelievably successful.
Well, I thank you very much for y'all's time, and we look forward to seeing everybody down on the point. Pitalo's on the point.
Pitalo's on the point. So much history there. So much history. What a great location for that family to collaborate on bringing so much activity to that part of Biloxi. Good luck to you guys, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you very much. We'll see you there.
Okay, this is Alan Pitalo, and he's with the South Mississippi Boat Show happening today through the weekend. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jeff Duncan from The Athletic.
Coast Vue on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's J. Allen at J. Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the J. Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the J. Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained,
The weird.
and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen. Okay. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
His love for the coast is why he's here. It's Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. I really, really enjoyed that conversation with Alan Pitalo. about the South Mississippi Boat Show going on this weekend at the Point. And the fact that Alan and his brother Danny's had the Garnflow cobia tournament for over 30 years. I've fished in it for many, many years, and probably will fish in it again. But a lot of fun, lot great camaraderie, amazing fishing. And now that you're going to have you have Danny on one side with the cobia tournament, and Alan on the other side with the South Mississippi Boat Show. The opportunities for that boat show, it's going to be successful this year, but the opportunity for it to become so much bigger over the coming years is it's pretty interesting, and I can't wait to see what that collaboration looks like. The Pitalo family, Croatian family, like Bahanovic family that I married into, so many impacts here in coastal Mississippi, and what a great place for the Pitalos to sort of do their thing on the Point of Biloxi. They called it Pitalos on the Point. That's what it is. Great opportunity. Go take a look at the boat show. All the coast boat dealers are going to be involved there. And it's a real opportunity to get a deal on a boat and talk to people who really know what they're talking about. So now let's shift gears and move to my friend Jeff Duncan, and I'm going to invite Al Curley in as well. Jeff is a reporter and columnist for The Athletic. He specializes in the Saints. He does the Pelicans. He's just a sports freak, and he's very, very knowledgeable. We have the opportunity to talk to him every Friday here on Super Talk. By the way, we're recording this show on Wednesday. We had to kind of ramp it up in that way this week. So as a result, we're going to talk about the draft. Some of it will already have played out, but we'll get still what Jeff's thinking is about the draft. But before we go into any of that, I want to bring Kyle in and just say Kyle had the opportunity. He does the music at the Superdome during the Saints games, and now he's actually filling in for the Pelicans games. And this past Sunday, he actually did a Pelicans game by himself after all that training. How did it go, Kyle?
It went really well. I felt really comfortable with it. I kind of stressed myself over it a little bit too much. And for whatever reason, I don't know. I think I do that to myself every time I go to work something new. But yeah, it was, it's the same boss for the Saints. So it's the same script structure. I kind of hate to say it, but it was almost easier than doing a Saints game.
Yeah.
Only because there's less timeouts and there's less to remember that's in the script.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, I've said this before. You are, and Jeff will appreciate this too, but you're a jack of all trades. You have IT and operations experience. You do voice here at Super Talk Media, which is multiple radio stations. You kind of do it all, and then you're working with the Saints organization. But as you pointed out, stressing out because you continue to raise the bar for yourself. You heard what I said yesterday about what we're learning from our guests. That the successful guests that we have, these are amazing people who have made so many contributions, but they don't dwell on the past. I mean, they learn from the past, but they don't dwell on the past. But you get that so well that you learn lessons in life. And you do best when you're stretching yourself, don't you?
Yeah. And the sad thing is I kind of realize that about myself. And I purposely sometimes put myself in that position so that I'll do my best work.
Hey, wait a minute. Putting yourself in that position means raising the bar, forcing yourself to do things that maybe you haven't done before so you can be better, so you can widen your abilities in life. And that's, most successful people, that's how they become successful. They focus on constantly raising the bar. That's what you're doing, isn't it?
Well, I mean, who knew procrastination would really turn things in your favor?
Hey, but let me tell you something about procrastination. My whole life's been nothing but deadlines. Jeff, you know this. I mean, buddy, procrastination wasn't something we were able to engage very often, was it?
No, look, I can appreciate Kyle's point, though. I mean, being journalists, we're all kind of deadline oriented, and deadline tends to spur action. And that's how we've operated almost our whole lives in our profession. So I totally get it. I'm kind of curious to know what Kyle thinks about the difference in atmosphere at the games. The Pelicans, I found the NBA to be a lot about the entertainment during those breaks. The breaks tend to have a lot more entertainment aspect than, say, an NFL game where a timeout there's not a whole lot going on except what's on the jumbotron. But it seems like NBA games, it's about the music and the MCs that they have in the arena, getting the crowd going. It's a little bit of a different atmosphere than an NFL game.
Yeah, I did notice that it is more focused on the entertainment during the timeouts and whatnot. The MC, the different events that we were doing. I think the game I did, they had a Battle of the Bands, but the two previous games that I went on the training was they did Pod Wars, and then there was another one. I really totally blanked my mind what it was, but it's really entertainment stuff. It really takes that, whether it's a 2.5 minute break or a 3.5 minute break, depending on which network, we really do. I say we really do take that time and maximize it and do a really good job of entertaining the fans that are there. You know, it's not full capacity, but the people that are in attendance, it's a really good time.
Yeah, and for you, Kyle, who you're playing the music, and there's a role that music plays in creating a better, more exciting experience. You know, just sticking with Jeff's theme for a second, as you think about their arena and the closeness of the crowd to you, that you can literally see their reactions as opposed to the big Superdome, et cetera. Does that make you feel a little bit more in touch with how people were reacting to you?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, though, it's kind of weird for doing a Pelicans game because I'm up in the control room that's up in the top level on the press level. So I'm kind of away from everything. I really had to work at trying to see what the crowd was doing and how they were reacting. I found a lot of my viewing was on the video board because where I sat, you know, I really didn't see. I could see across the way, but I couldn't see expressions on faces. I could see movement, but, you know, I'm kind of so far removed and almost really couldn't hear because the glass and the way the partitions are in that room. It's not like when I'm doing a Saints game. You know, I'm on the 300 level. I'm in between suites and there's, you know, thousands of people surrounding me. So it's a different atmosphere doing a Saints game than it was for me to doing a Pelicans game all the way at the top.
That's so interesting. I love hearing sort of that behind the scenes. Are you able to actually watch the game?
Yeah, I really have to watch the game because every time, you know, the Pelicans score, there's a sounder for each player minus one or two that don't have one for whatever reason. But there's a sound that plays when Zion scores. There's a sound that plays when Lonzo scores. There's a sound that plays if somebody hits an air ball or something like that. There's, you know, wow. I'm constantly involved throughout the entire game, unlike football where it's defense, you're playing nonstop. And then in the commercials and then offense, you can take a break. You're constantly looking, you're constantly doing something. Even on defense, second half, midway through the third quarter, I'm bouncing, I'm playing music for offense and defense. So yeah, it's more involved in basketball. I think that's what kind of psyched me out a little bit. But once I was there and it's me, it's just like, really, this is kind of easy. And again, less commercial breaks, less elements to memorize if we skipped one and have to do it later. You know, I really enjoyed it.
Well, it's easy because you raised the bar. You've been doing it for a while. You found you're operating at a whole different level professionally, and it's cool to hear you talk about it in that way.
Yeah, the hardest part for me was really because of the distance and seeing which guy shot the ball, especially if they're on the opposite side of the court. And then I'm kind of in the corner, so that goal that's in front of the Pelicans bench, I'm kind of behind the basketball goal and the backboard. And sometimes you can't always tell if the ball went in. You really have to kind of wait to see how the defense is. Are they playing it from behind the line, or are they going to try and fast break, whether or not if you play a sounder or not? And
that's so interesting. Hey, before we let Kyle slip off, Jeff, any final thoughts or questions?
Well, no, I do have a funny comment, though. I'm not sure if you were there that night, Cal, but they had a trivia contest with the fans at one point, and they had a gentleman and a lady answering trivia questions, and they give you 5 seconds to provide the answer. At one point, the guy was asked, name 3 of Santa's reindeer, and he could only come up with Rudolph, which I thought was ridiculous. And then they came back and asked the lady, name 3 states that begin with the letter A, and the only thing she could come up with was Atlanta. That was her only answer. So the entire
I almost fell out of my chair.
It's hysterical.
Oh, so interesting. Hey, thanks, Kyle. We appreciate it.
1 minute left.
Okay, thank you. We got Jeff Duncan. That was a lot of fun. Jeff and I have been looking forward to circling back with Kyle to see how his experience of playing music at the Pelican games compares with the Saints. And it's so interesting to see what goes on behind the scenes. I think most people want to know those kind of things. So when we come back, we'll talk to Jeff Duncan we'll stick on the theme of the Pelicans for a second, see what the prospects are for being able to go to the playoffs or keep making moves, personnel moves, making great discoveries, I might add, finding out what works, what doesn't work. And then we'll talk about the Saints after that. We'll see you after this break.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast Vue on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to supertalkmsgulfcoast.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
Hey, South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. Talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer-songwriter, has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because, I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard, and, all this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
in a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On Super Talk, Mississippi. Whether you're brand new to the DIY craze or a seasoned veteran, the Handyman Show has something for you. Buddy Slowick shares tips and tricks on everything from odd jobs to complete build-outs, from small home repairs to serious construction. So no matter if you're at the master carpenter level or not quite sure how to use a level, the Handyman Show answers your questions with a healthy dose of humor and some great music too. Saturdays, 10 to noon on Super Talk Mississippi and on Super Talk TV.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on Super Talk Mississippi.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews on Super Talk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Well, hey, listen, one of the things that I enjoy about doing Coast Vue is when I go out, I went to a baseball game, in fact, last night. My granddaughter, who's 5 years old, plays baseball. And it's fun to go out into the community, especially in areas like in Bayview, where I was raised, and come in contact with people I haven't seen in a long time. Sometimes some people 20, some people 30 years. And to have them come up to me and talk to me about Coast Vue, not about my role as Sun Herald back in the day, but they want to talk about Coast Vue, and they're listening and they're paying attention. And man, it warms my heart to see that people are really paying attention to the show, because we're celebrating coastal Mississippi. And you know, this opportunity we just had to chat with Kyle, who does the music at the for Saints games, and now he's filling in for Pelicans games, and see what's going on behind the scenes. Kyle Curley's the producer of Coast Vue, a jack of all trades here at Super Talk Mississippi Media, and it gives me a chance to visit with people like Jeff Duncan, who. You know, Jeff, it's been interesting having these conversations with you, because you've done book signings for your book here in coastal Mississippi. You're actually looking for maybe a house here in coastal Mississippi, but you know better than most that when whether it's Mickey Loomis or whether it's, you know, Miss Benson, or whether it's Sean Payton or any player on the team who's been there any length of time, they understand that this is not just New Orleans teams, whether it's the Pelicans or the Saints. These teams belong to the Gulf South, and they're a true regional team, and you get that just as well as anybody, don't you?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's been hammered into me since I moved to New Orleans in 1999, that the Saints are a regional team. And I've mentioned this, I think, before on the podcast. An NFL executive told me a long time ago that the Saints would never move out of New Orleans. He said, because you have a huge gap in the country between Atlanta and Houston, where New Orleans really is the only team. And that arguably, Ricky, is the most football crazy part of America. If you think about it, it's the SEC West Division, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. Those people and people in our region are passionate about football, and it certainly extends well beyond New Orleans borders.
Well, we're fortunate to have access to you, Jeff, who, you know, you've covered the Saints longer than anyone else on earth. You write for The Athletic. You and I talked about The Athletic before. People can go look at theathletic.com if you want to know more, but it's an incredible business model that scares ESPN and others on the international level because of this incredibly smart approach that they're using, a non-advertising approach, a subscriber-based approach. And it's going really well. We've got a great team in New Orleans. Incidentally, most of that team, if not all of them, used to work with us at NOLA.com and NOLA Media Group, and they're a dream team, and the years of service are really incredible. And so, the Gulf South's so important. I know people that drive for Saints games from Pensacola every single Sunday, at least when there's home games. So people, I-10's connected us in so many incredible ways. And that's one of the reasons why you kind of fell in love with coastal Mississippi, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, I'm really excited about the potential of Amtrak adding in that rail service, because I think that could be another way to get to a Saints game on the weekend. Take the train in from over to Biloxi Gulfport area, Bay St. Louis. What a fun way to experience the game. So let's hope that comes to fruition, because I think that would add a whole new means of transportation into a Saints game.
So let's get back to the Pelicans, and then in the next segment we'll talk more about the draft. But so are the prospects of getting into the playoffs for the Pelicans getting slimmer and slimmer with each passing day?
Yes, I think it's going to be very difficult. I mean, there's basically 10 games left. They're 4 games back and 5 games back of the 8th and 9th, the 9th and 10th place teams. This critical stretch here, they've got the Denver Nuggets twice this week. They've got to get one win there just to have any hope. It's just going to be so difficult. This team has not played well on the road all year. They've got a losing record on the road. Most of their games the rest of the way are on the road. So it would take kind of a reversal of form and a big surprise for them, I think, to knock off the Spurs or the Warriors from one of those last spots.
So as you look on this season, though, Jeff, of course, we have Zion, and what an incredible young man. You've written about him. He's a leader. He's an amazing young man beyond his years. We talked last week about the new tennis shoe contract that he got that you would not normally see with young players like this, but he's going to be the core of the team. But he's not alone. We're finding other pieces of the puzzle, and the story of this year ultimately is about depth. And we saw that the injuries really brought significant focus to that. But if they can address the depth problem, they're beginning to really put some pieces together, aren't they?
Yeah, look, there's no doubt this is Zion Williamson's team. I mean, he is a superstar, 20 years old still. And what he's doing at this level is really unprecedented. We have not really seen a player come into the league at age 20 doing the things he's doing. So they've got the hard part down. You've got the sidekick in Brandon Ingram, an all-star level player to complement him. And Lonzo Ball, we're not sure about what his future is going to be. The Pelicans have his rights going forward. But after that, you're right. What kind of complementary pieces can they add? Can they bolster the depth? That's going to be the top priority for David Griffin, Trajan Langdon this offseason, finding some more young players. And I think they need to add some defensive players and some guys that kind of have a little toughness in them. This team is full of a bunch of nice guys. They need to add some dogs, if you will, some guys that got some mental toughness to get after people, kind of do the dirty work. Kind of the way, remember those old great Bulls teams that had Jordan and Pippen, but they had Horace Grant and Charles Oakley to kind of
and
Rodman. Those are the kind of guys that they need, I think, and I think they'll find them this offseason.
So there's a surprise or two that they've discovered, like Najee. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Najee Marshall was an undrafted rookie out of Xavier University that really has been a revelation for this team. I think he's going to be a part of this team going forward. I don't know how he didn't get drafted. I mean, watching him play, he's a really good defensive player. He can hit an open jumper. He can drive to the basket. He does a lot of things well. And it's arguably just adding another draft pick, if you think about it, to their young core. And I know the Pelicans are very happy with the way he's played. And he's getting significant minutes. I mean, he's closing out games now with a veteran like Eric Bledsoe on the bench. So it speaks to how confident the Pelicans are in his ability to have him in those crucial minutes.
Hey, when you did the in-depth look at Zion, did you have good access to him?
Yes, I finally got a sit down with him. Well, not a sit down, over virtual sit down with him. Got a chance to visit with him. And look, the storyline for Zion Williamson is that he's as good a person off the court as he is a player on it. And I know that's kind of cliche, but it's really true. I talked to Stan Van Gundy about it. Stan Van Gundy said if Zion Williamson were the 12th player on our team, not the best player, but the 12th player, I'd want him on my team because of those traits he brings, those personal characteristics of humility and team play and inclusiveness, all those things Zion Williamson has, and he called him a whole package. And it's just rare you get somebody that talented with those kinds of intangible traits as well. That's what Drew Brees had with the Saints, and I think Zion Williamson is going to kind of bring that same package to the table for the Pelicans.
Well, it's interesting that he and Drew Brees did strike up a relationship right in the beginning. And I love seeing pictures of Drew's kids and Zion and Drew together doing things. But what was, you wrote the book on the Drew Brees, Sean Payton era. You've had tremendous access to those two men along the way. So what comparisons did you develop in your conversations with Zion that you brought away from your relationships with Sean Payton and Drew Brees?
Well, all of them are inclusive leaders. And what I mean by that is they take the platform they have, they understand their responsibility as leaders on their respective teams, and they take advantage of that platform and that spotlight to shine it on others. Zion Williamson's 20 years old. He's already got a sneaker deal. He's already been an all-star. He's had all these accolades come his way. So he doesn't need all the praise. What he does is he takes advantage of that to direct praise and attention to his teammates and to his coaches. And that goes a long way getting people to follow you as a leader. And people know that you are not just about yourself, you're about the team. And that selflessness, I think, is rare. And I saw it in Drew Brees. I'm seeing it at an early age in Zion Williamson.
When you're having a conversation with him, Jeff, is he soft-spoken?
Yeah, but he's confident. I mean, he's a lot like Drew in that these guys know they're good. I mean, they know they've got a talent, an extraordinary talent. And, the really good ones, the great ones, understand that it takes more than just themselves. They need all parts of the team to be operating a high level. So how can they raise the standard from their teammates and from their coaches? How can they get the most out of it? Because they need that. And so I think that communication level is going to be something that Zion Williamson will foster and develop over time. I mean, Drew Brees was a master at it, but he was also 40 years old. He didn't overnight become Drew Brees. He was when we saw him win a Super Bowl. It took him time. I think that's the key for Zion. He's 20 years old. He's played basically one season in the NBA. It's going to take him a little time. People need to be patient.
Wow, that's so interesting. And Drew Brees is literally double his age. They became friends, and the impact they have on each other has got to be tremendous. Hey, look, when we come back, we'll talk to Jeff about the draft. We'll see you after this break.
You can also listen live to Super Talk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open Super Talk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on AllenToyota.com.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends.
We're talking to Del Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera flips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
SuperTalk Mississippi, your new home for the Ben Shapiro Show.
We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth.
The most electrifying national talk show on air today.
We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Ben Shapiro, brutally breaking down the issues of the day.
From politics to pop culture, we take a look at all of it. So don't miss out.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota, Gulf Coast Business Supply, South Mississippi Boat Show on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. We have Jeff Duncan. We have Jeff Duncan every Friday. What a pleasure, what an honor it is to have Jeff, who's covered the Saints longer than anyone else on earth for The Athletic these days. Has a great team there. He's part of a great team at The Athletic. If you haven't been to theathletic.com lately, you need to go check it out. It's literally a sport enthusiast, I don't know, treasure. That's what I would say. But hey, look, we're recording this on Wednesday because of the way the schedule worked. This is playing on Friday. Jeff's going to make some observations about the draft, which essentially started yesterday. And but a lot of these observations, we'll see if some of them come true. But we still have the second and later drafts to come. What's sort of the feeling in the air as you talk to your sources around the Saints?
Well, I mean, Sean Payton made no bones about cornerback being the top priority. That's rare for him to just come clean, but it's so obvious. I mean, they lost Janoris Jenkins in free agency. They had to cut him because of salary cap problems. And then you've got Marshawn Lattimore, the other starter, who's facing potential league discipline because of his offseason arrest. So you've got a lot of uncertainty at arguably the most important position on defense in a division where you've got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, all these great receivers. So to me, it's a glaring hole that they've got to address. So I fully expect them. We're recording this on Wednesday. I expect them to address cornerback in round one. And there's already been reports that have leaked out that the Saints have even shown expressed interest in trading up in the first round to maybe address that position. They've got a little more ammo now because of the extra draft picks they acquired. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them get that cornerback in round one and then address the rest of the team needs in rounds 2 and 3.
And you talked about this. So I get the the cornerback situation. Let's pray that Marshawn Lattimore's legal issues aren't something that's going to linger for any long period of time. Clearly, we see that. Okay, but then we've talked about the changing offense, the speed. They're wanting to kind of move things downfield and speed things up. So you still think some kind of a speed demon wide receiver is going to be in the offing here as well?
Yeah, and I tell you, I think it has less to do. I think when people hear speedy wide receivers, they think deep ball, they think get behind the defense. I don't think that's as important as finding a playmaker at receiver, someone that can catch a short pass and turn it into a big gain. You know, that's always been the strength of the Saints offense. Guys like Brandon Cooks, Lance Moore, even running backs like Darren Sproles, they could take a 5-yard catch and make 30 or 40-yard gain out of it. That's how you get big explosive plays in the NFL. The NFL is not about 50 and 60-yard bombs. I mean, how many of those happen in a game? Maybe one, maybe. That's not the Saints' game plan on offense. They need someone that can take a short gain, make a couple of defenders miss, and get a first down. They're lacking that. Alvin Kamara can do it. Deontay Harris, the little returner, can do it, but he's been banged up a lot. He's not a big guy. So I think they need to find that receiver to complement Mike Thomas and Traquan Smith. They don't really have that kind of jitterbug 5'9", 5'10" guy in the receiving core. And there's a bunch of those in this draft.
Yeah, there definitely is. So last time we talked, last week you were at the Zurich Classic, and Peyton played with Drew Brees one day. He played with Taysom Hill one day. Looking back, did you get any more interesting insights about the Saints as it relates to the players that were there?
Well, really, the most newsworthy thing was what Drew Brees said. I asked him about his injuries last season. No one's really asked him since the season was over. Now that he's retired, he can kind of come clean a little more. And he said, basically, I was never right the whole season. He said he had one game, Ricky, week 4 against Detroit, that he felt close to 100%, that he could do everything and call every tool in his toolbox. And so that means he started the season hurt. He admitted he had an abdomen injury that nobody knew about, that he couldn't rotate, which is critical at playing quarterback. He had a foot injury, a shoulder injury. So he was really playing at less than 100%, and we kind of all saw that. And he had said that it limited what he could do at quarterback. They couldn't really make all the throws he wanted to make. I thought that was the most newsworthy thing that came out of last week.
And then the rib injuries, for God's sake. I mean, my goodness, multiple rib injuries. And then, I think, was it his wife or someone mentioned that he had this shoulder injury, and that would, I mean, the last thing you want is a shoulder injury when you're a quarterback. And it limited his ability to go down the field, and most of the teams we went against knew that.
Yeah, and so what I think is critical for the Saints is determining, how much of that, limited the offense, how much of it was the personnel not having people like we talked about, playmakers we talked about. And then the other aspect I'm really interested to ask Mickey Loomis about this week is, how will not having Drew Brees affect their draft? Or will it affect them? Do they now look for players that maybe have different traits and skill sets that aren't necessarily Drew Brees contingent? I'm interested to see how that works out.
It's going to be so interesting, and we'll talk about that for sure next week after you evaluate what this draft really means to the Saints. This has been Jeff Duncan from The Athletic, great friend of Coast Vue. We're here every Friday. Thank you for listening on SuperTalk and all the podcast platforms and social media. We appreciate that. And we'll see you next week, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, Ricky. Talk to you soon, buddy.
You bet. Take care.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.